Hello, I'm Kim Warren. This is a model of a small retailer trying to grow their business over 5 years in a developing economy, subject to the difficulties that are common in such cases. The model shows how system dynamics modelling might help assess effort to encourage the development of private sector enterprises, and was developed as part of a pilot project for the UK government's Department for International Development. The retailer starts with just a single small store which attracts more customers and becomes more profitable as the store's product range increases. The owner opens more stores if this one is sufficiently profitable. The stores serve a limited market, so sales and profits are eventually limited by the total number of consumers available. The difficulties this small retailer faces are, first of all, that power supplies are unreliable, so the stores may not be able to operate for some hours each day. Secondly, supply problems mean that a fraction of the product range is not available. Both of these factors cut the sales that the stores can make each day and therefore the store's profit. Next, corruption means that the owner has to make additional payments to open each store on top of the capital cost. Corruption may have other impacts too, such as raising the cost of the store's products, but we're focusing here on this one example. There can also be high tax rates, which means the owner has to make more pre-tax profit before it's worthwhile to open another store. And finally, if the owner has too little cash to open a store they would like to, it can take a long time to borrow the necessary money. Or the owner may decide not to borrow money at all because it's just too difficult and too risky, and only open another store when they've made enough cash to pay for it. Aid agencies try to help governments reduce and eliminate these difficulties so as to encourage growth of the private commercial sector of the economy and hence grow employment and reduce poverty. Similar models can be built for any type of business, for a whole sector of the economy, not just retail, but transport, agriculture, services, and so on, and for multiple sectors. So those working on aid projects can assess in advance how their efforts should work and the benefits they should deliver, as well as monitoring and evaluating the success of those projects as they progress. When you open the model from its link, it starts in run mode, with items you control down the left and summary results charts in the main window. These show the number of stores, the monthly profit before tax that the business makes, the total number of staff that the business employs, and the debt or cash that the business builds up over time. I should emphasize that all numbers here are entirely illustrative and the model is still in testing, so results may change from those shown in this recording. The model already shows how the business performs under quite severe difficulties on all the issues we just discussed. Simply hit reset and play to recreate these results at any time. You can see that the difficulties mean it takes a long time before the first store makes enough profit to justify opening more, and after 5 years our entrepreneur ends up with only 5 stores employing 20 people and making just over $2,000 per month. To see what difference a single improvement makes, hit reset and, for example, set corrupt payment per new store to 0. Hit play and you can see that it is worthwhile to open more stores sooner if you don't have to pay this extra cost each time you open the store, and of course you make more money and employ more people. In all these charts, the dashed line plays out the base case we showed before, and the solid line shows the effect of any changes that you make. You can also test multiple changes and have those changes apply at different times. Hit reset and change hours per day without power from 2 to 1. This means you get an extra hour of available trading time each day when you can keep the lights on. Hit play and pause after 12 months. You make a little more money from the extra sales in the additional hour of trading time, and this alone will eventually mean you can open a few more stores. At this time though, transport links into the city improve, so you're able to cut the percentage of products that are usually not available in your store from 30% to 20%. Run to month 24. You made quite a lot more profit as you could sell more of what customers want, so you're now planning to open another store sooner than you were able to do in the base case. At this time, the government cut tax on business profits from 50% to 30%. Play to the end. Now you can really grow the business, opening 14 stores in total, growing profits to $6,000 per month and employing over 50 people. Although the numbers in this model are illustrative, this result demonstrates a quite realistic effect, whereby removing several small dysfunctions in any enterprise that otherwise just runs at the margin of being viable can result not just in marginal benefits, but in really substantial improvements. Scroll down to take a look at the model structure. The first section at upper left shows the opening of more stores driven by whether you make enough profit, whether you're willing to borrow, and if so, how long it takes to get the loans that you need. We don't actually need to borrow in the scenario we just played out, but in other scenarios you may need to do so. Every store you open reaches more potential consumers at the left of the diagram, but as you use up the available market, each new store reaches fewer new people. Scroll down a little more, and you will see that we are gradually increasing the product range in the stores, but at any time a percentage of those products will not be available because of supply problems. Consumers spend more if we have more products, but the power outages at the bottom cut the store's trading hours and lose us a fraction of those sales. The more hours are lost, the more we lose. Scroll right a little to see that we add staff to each store to serve the larger number of customers, and at bottom right you can see the total staff employed in all the stores. Above that is a section calculating the average store profit from the gross margin on sales minus staff costs and overhead. This, multiplied by the number of stores we're operating, gives the total business profit before interest. Scroll up to see the cash. Profits build up our cash, or losses build up debt or reduce profit. We pay out tax depending on the tax rate on our profits after a delay for that tax to be collected. Cash also goes out to buy each new store, and more has to be paid out if corrupt payments have to be made. If you have an account for the Sistea application, you can save a copy of this model to investigate for yourself how it works. Go to www.sistea.com. A single model account is free of charge, but you do need a latest version browser to use it. So, for example, you need Internet Explorer version 9 rather than 8. You'll find guidance on the software at help.sistea.com, and a good place to start is by looking at the section on using a shared model. We hope you find the model useful and instructive, and welcome any comments you may have on it. There is an open discussion on LinkedIn under the Strategy Dynamics Network group, as well as private discussions within the Department for International Development.